y'all, it's Fortune Frankly and welcome to Fortune Frankly Fridays, where we do DIY home decor and more. In today's video, we're taking on another internet aesthetic, and this time it's witchcore. Couldn't you guess? Now, witchcore is an aesthetic that centers around witchcraft. That means magic, wands, tarot cards, really old leather-bound books. Think this, and this. Witchcore is closely related to cottagecore, which has been a really popular trend. And lucky for you, I recently did a video on cottagecore DIYs that I'll leave linked up here. Now that we have that down, let's get started. For our first DIY, we're taking some glass jars and giving them a really old apothecary kind of vibe. In the witchcore aesthetic, you'll see a lot of things related to potion making. And where are you going to keep all the ingredients? In your jars, hello. For this project, you'll need paper, coffee or tea, a fine point black marker, a lighter, glue stick, and some bottles or jars. Starting with our paper, we're going to give this a very vintage look, and to do that, we're going to basically be painting it with some tea. So I took my sponge brush, thinking I was just gonna paint this and we're gonna be all right. But it didn't come out as dark as I would have liked it. It had a slight vintage feel rather than the full thing. And here we are, we're trying to go all the way. So on another piece of paper, I just decided to paint with the actual tea bag, and that gave me a more concentrated color. And this is one of the many reasons I prefer tea bags over loose tea. But if we wanted to go with the theme here, giving some Harry Potter divination vibe, you might want to do some loose tea and, read the cup afterwards. Hashtag witchcore. And while we let that dry, we're going to prepare the bottles. I'm going to take off stickers, use some Goo Gone, all that jazz. And going back to our paper, we're going to cut it out. Oh my God, stop. I know. Y'all don't have to tell me my hand is ashy. I know we've been through this before, and I promised I would do better, but sometimes it's hard to find the lotion. Y'all just gonna have to stare at my ashy hands though, okay? So moving on. But first we're gonna draw kind of a circular oval shape on the back of the paper. We want it to look like the mirror from Snow White, the evil queen's mirror. And I'm going to try to cut it out as symmetrical as possible, so I'm going to fold it in half and cut it like that. Now to name our potion ingredient, I'm gonna go with a little HP inspo, and I'm just gonna write it out in a font that looks kind of witchy. Want to erase your pencil marks. And for this other label, I'm going to cut it out in a different shape and also write on it. This time, not using a pencil because, we got to take risks sometimes. And I'm going to use a lighter to burn some of the edges to give it a more aged look. And I'm going to go back over the labels with more of the tea, just to give it more of an aged look. And I'm also going to use my pliers here to just poke some holes through it. And I'm gonna let that dry. To make the Fortune Felices, I'm gonna use some of that tea and put some glitter in it. I'm also gonna put some of this gold acrylic paint and shake it up. To make the elixir of life, I'm gonna use some water, silver glitter, and a little bit of my silver fabric paint. Shake it up, shake it up. Once our labels have dried, we're going to apply some glue to the back and glue it onto our bottles. And I'm going to drop these bottles into my potions collection. For Project Noodles, we are giving our candle some color and a cute container to go in. For this project, you'll need an Irish coffee glass, a candle wick, a medium-sized candle, black powder dye, and an herb like mugwort. Starting with the glass, we're gonna get our candle vessel ready. I'm gonna put the wick down into the middle. This wick comes with a double-sided sticky dot that you can just stick onto the wick and then into your container. Now I'm going to stabilize my wick and set it aside so that we can get the candle ready. Now I've shown how to melt down candles on my channel before. Candle wax is very expensive. Wow. Que caro. So I'm going to melt down a candle from the Dollar Tree just to give us some wax to work with. So we're gonna boil the water, and I'm gonna put the candle in a container frequently used for alcoholic beverages and wait for that candle to melt. I used a spoon to stabilize it, but I want y'all to let me know if your parents have a pot of old oil sitting on the stove. We've done a little recycling here on this channel, so it fits in. As the wax melts, we're gonna remove the wick. You can totally reuse this wick if you want, and we're gonna pour the wax into a measuring cup. We're going to put some of our black dye into the wax and mix it up. And we're going to put our mugwort into there as well. I was initially going to use my black liquid dye, but Rit said no. Hold up, wait girl. Come to find out, since the liquid dye is water-based, it won't mix well with the wax of the candle. Just a little knowledge drop for y'all. You want to let that cool overnight, trim your wick, and voila. For our third and final project, we're making something every witch should have in their collection. They're usually big, black, and beautiful. No, not me. Oh my gosh, thanks. We are making a cauldron, a mini cauldron. For this project, you'll need a small spherical container, 3 small beads and 1 large bead, black spray paint, and a glue gun. Starting with our container, this is actually a candle jar from a candle I had used up. I cleaned out the candle wax, made sure it was nice and pristine, and I'm going to flip it upside down so I can glue my beads. Now I'm using 3 small beads here, and I'm gluing them in a triangular pattern. These will be the feet of our cauldron. And at the top, I'm going to glue down the largest bead right dab in the middle. And I'm going to add a drop of glue to the top just to kind of close up that hole. I'm going to stuff just one of the million of Walmart bags that we have in our cabinet into our cauldron. And I'm going to tape it down a little bit just so that when we spray paint it, it doesn't get in the way. And I'm going to use the black spray paint to spray the entire cauldron. Ba-bam! Alright, welcome back. So I love doing these internet aesthetic DIYs. I think they're so fun and really interesting. My favorite DIY from this video has to be my makeup. Get into it, get into it. But for real, my favorite project was that first one, the Apothecary jars that we did. And I gotta admit, I'm a huge history buff, so I really love these vintage kind of things, especially from the late 1800s. But I'm curious to know, what was your favorite project from this video and what would you like to try? If you're feeling lucky, you can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. And if you're not feeling lucky, I'm so sorry, but I hope to see you again in the near future. I hope everyone is staying safe out there, and as always, thanks for watching.